Hi there. Have you ever found yourself in a rut? Maybe you call it a funk or a slump. You know, that time when you're sad, but you feel like you're done being sad, except you still feel kind of down. Well, if so, friend, then this video is for you. Hi there, my name is Morgan Risden, and I'm the creator of Center Studio, where I teach people skills to feel more comfortable more often. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm a nationally certified Alexander Technique teacher, and I've created this channel in order to help you find ways that you can live more comfortably, mindfully, and present. And if you enjoyed the video today, I hope that you'll hit the subscribe button. Also, that notification bell lets you know anytime I make a video like this. Now, I wanted to create today's video for you because last week I shared a video where I was talking about having memories come up, feeling things like sadness and things that were causing me to feel a little down. And I find that this often happens, right? In life, it's inevitable that you're going to feel some sadness, start to feel depressed occasionally. But what do we do about that? Do we end up slipping into those sort of slumps or getting ourselves into a funk that it's hard to get out of? Yeah, sometimes that happens. But what if, friend, you had some things that you could do whenever you were feeling like that's where you were headed? So today I want to share with you the 5 things that have always helped me when I feel like I'm slipping into a funk of sorts. And if you stick around until the end, friend, I'm going to share 3 of the tools that as an Alexander Technique teacher, I'm always using and that can prove particularly helpful when doing these things. So you'll want to be sure to stick around till then. So the first thing I like to do is be productive. So that usually comes in the form of cleaning or organizing. So maybe it's doing the dishes, cleaning up the kitchen, or perhaps it's doing laundry, right? Folding clothes, putting clothes away, or maybe even more simply, just making my bed so that I have a fresh bed to crawl into later in the evening, right? Just doing something that I know if I'm not going to benefit from it immediately, I'll at least be able to enjoy those benefits, or it's something that needs to get done anyway eventually, so I might as well do it now. Now, the second thing that I like to do is get active. And for me, that usually looks like running or lifting weights, but I recognize, although this is usually seen as exercise, that lots of people don't care for exercise. And what I mean by that is I know people who say, no, exercise is not for me. But if I ask them, hey, you want to join me to walk the dog, or you want to meet up and go for a hike, they'll say yes, because that's an activity they're enjoying with their friend. They don't really view it as exercise, even though we know it's exercise, right? So if you're somebody who kind of shies away from exercise, doesn't really have a good taste for exercise, just find ways to incorporate more movement into your day-to-day life, okay? That could be instead of driving to someone's house to drop something off, maybe you walk, or maybe you park your car a little farther from the grocery store so you have farther to walk across the parking lot before you get indoors. So whatever it looks like for you, see if you can incorporate more movement into your everyday life. The third thing I'd like to do is self-care. And this is the one that I think people often turn to first. And these could be in the form of making time for a bubble bath at night or booking yourself a massage perhaps. It could also be getting dressed up for no reason, right? Painting your nails. Maybe it's something a bit more reflective, like you journaling or taking time to read a book that's been sitting on your nightstand for a while. It might even be something like taking time for a tea or a coffee that you might not normally make time to just sit and enjoy, but really just carving out time that you have for you to better care for yourself in your day. The fourth thing I like to do is get out in nature. Now, I think this is the most obvious one that can help people, and it doesn't cost anything, friends. It's free. What I mean by that is if you're having a morning cup of coffee or tea, you can enjoy that out on your patio, getting outside. Maybe you're having your lunch, and instead of sitting at your workstation, you enjoy eating in the grass. Or maybe in the afternoon, you've got a call in the middle of the day and you say, oh, I'm gonna stick my earbuds in and have this call while I'm outside taking a walk. And that way, I'm not just outside, but I'm also getting active at the same time. There's a lot of ways that you can incorporate getting out into nature, and I find this especially helpful anytime I'm in a slump. The fifth thing that I finally like to do when I'm feeling in a slump is I like to do something for someone else. So I like to take that negative energy, any of that sadness I'm feeling, and sort of turn it around and use it for good. So in my case, that usually turns into sending cards to people or care packages. Often I'll bake for my students. I like to do things that'll bring a smile to somebody. And for you, that might even include just getting together with a friend, right? Doing something, taking somebody out for lunch that you want to connect with them and hear how life's going for them. Or more broadly, it could even be volunteering in your community, finding a place where they could use your time and your services, and just using yourself in a way that you feel of service and really feel like you're contributing. Oftentimes for me, I find these things to be really helpful in getting me out of a slump. Now, as promised, friend, I wanted to include the 3 tools that I use as an Alexander Technique teacher whenever I do these things and I'm trying to get myself out of that slump, and I find them very useful. The first one is I practice presence. And what that looks like for me typically is using my senses. So let's say, for example, I'm being productive and I'm cleaning up my kitchen after dinner. So I might be wiping away the counter and maybe I notice the sunlight as it's coming into the space and I'm thinking about how the sun has shifted over the course of the day. Maybe I'm smelling the aromas from the enchilada sauce I made for dinner, or I'm hearing my children upstairs romping around. So I try to incorporate all of these sort of senses that I have to expand my awareness to where I am in time and space so that I can be more present in the moment in whatever it is that I'm doing. The second thing that I like to do is something that we call in Alexander Technique as thinking in activity. Now, what this looks like, friend, is that when I'm doing something, wait for it, I'm thinking about it. So what do I mean by that? You know, if you're in the bathroom brushing your teeth, chances are you're thinking about what you forgot to do that day or what you need to do tomorrow, right? We're thinking typically not really about what we're doing, but we're having all these other thoughts coming into our brains. And I'm suggesting that in these kinds of moments, you stop and actually think about, how am I using my body, and am I being efficient? Am I using myself in a way that seems beneficial? Or does it feel like there's excess tension or strain in my body that really is not helping me? So for example, let's say that you're exercising, okay? You're lifting some free weights, and I'd suggest, hey, what do you notice about your shoulders, right? Are you lifting up your shoulders as you're lifting these free weights? Could your shoulders relax? Are you clenching your teeth? Are you holding your breath? And when you start to include that sort of awareness in any activity that you do, you'll begin to notice places that, oh, I don't need to do that. Oh, I can actually breathe as I'm typing this email. Oh, I can let my shoulders relax as I'm just simply texting a friend. You can start to notice places in your body where maybe you unconsciously have been holding, tightening, straining, and in those moments you don't necessarily need to be doing that. The third thing that I like to do is choose my thoughts. Now, what I mean by this is that I feel as though a majority of us fail to remember that a lot of the thoughts we have, friends, are not necessarily of service to us. They're not usually that helpful or productive. And when you start to observe what kinds of thoughts you're having, you can start to distinguish, is this a thought that I want to have? Is this a thought that's useful or helpful to me? Or do I want to change it to something that'll be more productive? So an example might be that my initial thought is, this is so hard, okay? Is that thought really helpful? Not really, right? If I think to myself, I can't do this, or this is too hard, or there's not enough time, right? That thought might not be that helpful, but if I can change that to, okay, I've got 10 minutes. What can I do with 10 minutes? That's a helpful thought. That thought creates a little bit of room for possibility, creativity, versus the other thought that I think oftentimes will evoke sort of a stress response, causing worry and anxiety in us. So when you start to become aware of the thoughts that you're having, those habitual thoughts, you can sort of filter it again through this idea of, is it helping me? Is that thought beneficial? Or could I change that to be something a little bit more productive? I hope you found today's video helpful. Again, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe, and you can also hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. If you have things that you've done that you have found help you when you're in a slump, I'd love if you'd share in the comments below. That always is really helpful for viewers to get an idea about other things that they can try. So until next time, friends, take care. Ciao.